and shit. Yeah. Chatterbox coming at you from Untitled Studios. Toodles McStabby Pants here along with Detroit Qua.
Hello.
That's the most professional opening you'll ever get, you fuckers.
That is as good as it gets. Yeah.
Never going to get better than that under any circumstances. All right, let's see here. Can I find my own stream? Can I find my own stream, or is this not going to happen?
Yeah. All right, sorry, I was sending it to him, so I was kind of half listening.
This is the part where neither of us says shit, and it's all like getting prepped and ready to go.
Yeah, the opening and closing just a fucking horrible mess.
Yeah, it should be. Absolutely. That's my goal in life, is just to suck really, really bad.
I think we do all right on the in-between shit, but
I'm gonna invite one of the guys.
Yeah, right on.
Because fucking, why not?
Yeah, what the freak. Cool. All right, we'll see what happens. Like I said, I didn't hear back from Subby, but I didn't hear a no, so I'm like, yeah, I'll send it to him. If he wants to join, great. If not, no big deal.
Yeah, exactly. It's always casual. Yeah. I'd much rather do that.
Yeah. Yeah, so what's up, man?
I found a place to watch Cowboy Bebop online for free, and I'm very happy with that.
Nice. Yeah.
I am on my way to being a weeb. It's going to happen.
Yeah. You know what? It's weird. I always enjoy that stuff when I watch it, but I never like seek it out. You know? It's weird.
I've seen so many of like the typical sort of Western stories. Like at this point, like I kind of know what's coming all the time, and I like to watch anime because I don't always know what's coming. Like it still surprises me.
Yeah, you know what? That's true. Because I used to do that. Like I would freak out, like my ex and the kids, because I would be telling them, I'm like, dude, this is what's gonna happen. Watch, and I'd be right like 99% of the time.
Yep.
And like to me, it's fucking obvious. And they're like, oh my god, have you seen this before? I'm like, no, but I mean, it's fucking obvious, dude.
I think there's like 10 or something different basic storylines that everybody uses. And it's not
the tropes.
The tropes. But it's just there's it's hard to come up with anything new. Like we haven't had a new one in a long time as far as the way stories work.
Yeah, it's tough to be original. Yeah, I mean, honestly, probably in the last fucking 1,000 years, there probably hasn't been not a whole lot of truly original storylines, dude.
Yeah, essentially. And so, yeah. But the interesting thing is with the Japanese culture, their way of using all of those different tropes is entirely different, and the combining of them is different, and so you get different stories that turn out different ways than you expect, which is really cool.
Yeah, it is nice to be surprised. Like, holy shit, I didn't see that coming. I think the one that I watched that I really enjoyed was the Princess Mononoke movie. I don't know if you've seen that one, but that was it's got a bunch of American actors doing the voices, but it's essentially I think it qualifies as that genre.
Yeah,
maybe not.
It's definitely an anime. The guy who wrote it and directed and all that stuff is pretty well known in the anime world, as far as I know.
Right.
He also did like Spirited Away and a couple other ones that are pretty major.
Right. Yeah, and I'm still trying to figure out which the one. I think I had mentioned it on one of the other hangouts, but it was like there was some chick that was basically like poison. Like if you even just kissed her or fucked her, like you would die, like she was poison. I'm trying to. Yeah, I can't. I thought it was Akira, but I don't think Akira is anything like that. Once I thought about it, and it can't be Akira. Akira is completely different. Yeah, one of these days I'll actually look it up. Like that would probably be the smart thing to do. Yeah, other than obsessing about it and just waiting for my memory to kick it in.
Well, that's hilarious. So, like, I typed in "woman who is poisoned anime," and it changed it to name. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, there we go. I'm getting a lot of Ninja Scroll.
Oh, that is it. Yes, Ninja Scroll. Yes. Yep. As soon as I heard it, that would be it. Because it was weird because there's a scene like when there's like this guy that can turn to rock basically, and he's attacking her and basically raping her, and like he, turns back from Rock to fucking actually rape her, and then ends up dying because she's poisoned. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. See how easy that would have been for me to do, and I couldn't bother to fucking do it.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah, I almost was fucking.
Oh, good.
I was gonna say I was almost late for the fucking doctor today. I fucking that's so frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yes, my appointment's at 10 o'clock. Well, I'll be seeing the doctor about noon.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's always. Yeah, it's ridiculously. Yeah, there's really no point in being on time to the doctor, dude.
Oh, it's just so annoying. I'm just glad I remembered to book this time. The one thing you don't want to do is show up there with nothing to keep you occupied, and I don't have a smartphone, so.
Yeah, that's tough, man. Yeah, I know my doctor's. Yeah, he can get. He can go for a long time, dude. It's kind of funny because all he does is, he used to be like a general practitioner or whatever, but now all he treats is addiction and pain management, and so it's basically like a lecture every time you go in there. Yeah, which is great, but like,
God. That's my God. That's my fucking God. I think I'm gonna have to get a new doctor.
Really?
Yeah. So okay, here's the thing. When I first got tinnitus, Xanax was the only thing that made me capable of functioning.
Right.
Because it was just all new, and I had to learn to adjust and everything. And there's all this anxiety and lack of sleep, and Xanax was the only thing that let me sleep, and the only thing that made me like a human being for the first couple months.
Right.
And so naturally, I wanted Xanax because it was, effective.
Yeah, it works. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I think at some point, some doctor put me down as med seeking.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Because now anytime I talk about anything, their immediate thing is, well, we can't give you this or we can't give you that. And then my doctor was giving me this spontaneous lecture about the fucking addiction and the lorazepam I have. And I'm just like, look, bitch, you're not a psychiatrist.
Right.
And you know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
This isn't
not your area of expertise.
Yeah, these are absolutely potentially addictive medications. I recognize that. I totally do. But when you actually have anxiety, you genuinely need them. And it's not a case of like, well, you got to be careful not to take too much.
Right.
It's like, no, you take them as they're prescribed because that's what the doctor prescribed. And that's the safest way to go. You don't want to just sit there and fucking take 3 or 4 when they prescribe you one. Mm-hmm. And you take them when you need them for yourself. That's all there is to it. But I think they might put me down as...
Yeah, it's one thing if you're coming in early all the time, like you got a month's prescription, you're coming in 2.5, 3 weeks later, to fill it, and like you're fucking going through it really fast. But yeah, there needs to be more of an indication to label somebody as med seeking than just the fact that they know something works and they're asking for it.
Well, even then, sometimes your anxiety gets worse. For whatever reason, it might be something just for like a couple of months that's going on in your life that you're more dependent upon the medication because you just suddenly there's all this anxiety that you're working with. And like, you should try to handle it, but at a certain point, like you also have to be able to do, your day-to-day fucking tasks of living.
Yeah.
So you can't just turn that off. It's not a fucking switch you flip. Like, oh, well, you taught me about deep breathing. Fuck, we're done. I don't need this anymore. No, it's not how it works.
Yeah. Well, my doctor, like, I actually enjoy it because he's actually, it's helpful shit. It's not. It's kind of lecturing, but it's not like annoying lecturing. Like, it's useful shit. Because he's in recovery himself, so he's not. He's not like.
He's one in a million there, man.
Condescending. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he's been clean for like almost 40 years now. So
it's just so easy for doctors to be addicted to pills, man. Because like they get a buddy that does it too, and they can just fucking prescribe each other whatever they want, and it's pretty much unstoppable. Like there's really not a lot of chance to get busted.
Yeah. Plus, I think they end up. Well, his alcohol. He wasn't really pills or anything else, but he's a straight alcoholic. But still, he understands the disease overall.
Oh, well, yeah, addiction is addiction. It's not about what you're addicted to.
Yeah, exactly. Most people understand that, but There's some, some alcoholics think they're, get a little superior and drug addicts, that kind of fucking bullshit. But honestly, that's pretty rare. That's really rare that any of them give a shit. But yeah, no, he's really good. Obviously he's lived it, and he's amassed a lot of information on it. And plus, it's funny to listen to him, especially when Obama was in office. Holy shit, dude, because he hates Obama. Oh man, he fucking yeah. It'd be funny to hear him going off on that. Him and Hillary, obviously, he hated Hillary too.
Oh yeah,
and he was supporting Trump like from way back when.
Wow.
Like he was pretty confident that Trump was actually going to get it, and I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I didn't think Trump
before. Yeah, I really didn't either. Yeah, I didn't think he was going to get the primaries. Like, I didn't think he was going to get the nomination even.
I thought he would get the nomination because he was just so fucking big. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he
was smart.
Schwarzenegger got governor of California. Like, he's just so well known that it was like there's so many people that are just going to pick his name because they know it. That's what was going to happen. And then the media would fuck him out of the election, essentially, as I thought it was going to be. There'd never be a chance.
They tried. They fucking tried. But yeah, and I think he's a lot smarter than people give him credit for, and I think a lot of his even his craziness is calculated.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
Well, I think he's trolling the fuck out of everybody. I think he's trolling the shit. Like, his Twitter is... He's literally fucking with media on the Twitter. That's all it is.
Yeah. I think he's he recognized, like, the mood of the country changing from this PC bullshit to being fed up with that, and so he fucking went hardcore to the other way of being really outspoken and really, kind of in your face, and it worked fucking perfectly, man.
And some of the stuff he said was out of the bounds of good taste, but none of it was really racist or hateful.
Yeah,
it's just the people's point of view has gotten so fucked up that they just can't recognize, like, oh yeah, this guy's kind of like on that edge.
Yeah,
it's almost like the thing was out of context. I mean, he was literally talking about groupies. He was like, it's crazy, they'll let you do anything.
Yeah, it's not like he was saying that, like, yeah, you don't even fucking need, like, it's nothing against their will. It's like, yeah, they let you do it. Yeah.
When he was specifically talking about groupies, he wasn't talking about women in general.
Right.
But nobody wants to admit that. Like, they all just want to take it out of context and be like,
of course.
That's not what he fucking said.
Yeah.
So how about you take what the guy said and go with that instead of just making your own interpretation up of it because you don't like it.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. I think if he didn't run at all, and obviously if he didn't win, I don't know that as many people would notice how fucking shitty the media has gotten. And how the media has become part of the establishment. If he did not run.
Deep state has become a standard thing. Like, people are admitting there's a deep state. Like, even in the media now.
Yeah.
Like, that's a huge...
Yeah, it's about time. Yeah. I mean, I don't understand how anybody thought that wouldn't happen eventually in any society like this. Like, of course, people are going to get ahead. People are going to be, and the people that do get ahead are generally not going to be the greatest people. They usually probably stepped on people to get there, and they're usually going to want to ensure that they stay in power or that they maintain their power or whatever. So, of course, that's going to happen, dude.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
Pretty inevitable, really, that corruption and that's going to happen. So, yeah. But it's nice that he's, like I said, he says a lot of fucking crazy shit, a lot of bullshit. I think, how they say, like, he's lied this many times. I think a lot of it is, like, I think he kind of believes what he says at the time, and a lot of times he's either mistaken or, just mistaken, Yeah. And then sometimes he just bullshits. But it's fun. It's entertaining, and I think he genuinely wants to do a good job, man. For his own vanity, for sure, but I don't really care what your reasons are. If you want to do a good job, that's fucking, I'm okay with whatever your reasons are for it.
Well, and there's a big difference when you look at what he lies about versus what Hillary lied about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
By and large, he lied about stuff that made him look good. He didn't lie about anything that actually mattered.
Right.
And therein lies the difference. Like, he's lying about things that, like, could affect the nation, could affect everybody.
Yeah, like that bullshit about the servers and all that, and the fact that what she did was absolutely a crime. I think you were the one that was talking about the difference between intent, like what sometimes it doesn't matter what your intent was on certain crimes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you have an intent or not have an intent. So, like, murder in the first degree is you intended to kill somebody, and then you went about and you did it. Whereas, like, manslaughter is like you didn't intend to kill somebody, but because of your actions, you killed somebody.
Right,
right. Big bar and brawl or something. You're still responsible. You're just not as responsible because of that. But in the case
you didn't actually plan it out. Yeah.
Whereas in the case of the security stuff, it's like you were informed and educated prior to making all the choices you made. You knew exactly what you were and were not allowed to do, and you chose to do it anyway. And whether you intended for that information to become that sensitive, classified information to become potentially available to enemies of the country has nothing to do with whether or not it did because of your actions.
Yeah, and then actually trying to damage them and wipe them, dude.
Well, and then that actually is a crime. That's the one that, like, you probably couldn't put her in jail for the email servers, though you should be able to. But you absolutely would for what do you call it? Obstruction of justice.
Yeah.
The FBI requested all these things through, like, the legal channels correctly. She deleted and destroyed all this data and information. The concept that it was never, they're going to drop the investigation now, the FBI is saying. So I think Trump needs to fire some more people from the FBI.
Yeah,
because they do serve at his pleasure. They're not serving the people. They serve the president. They work for him. He's the executive branch. All of the police in the country serve essentially at his leisure or the pleasure of the mayor or governor of their state,
right,
or city, that kind of thing. And that's how that's supposed to work. Like,
they're essentially the federal police. Yeah,
exactly. And so for them to turn around and be like, well, we don't think that it matters anymore, so we're not going to pursue it, is really inappropriate. There's such a breach of the law, and such a blatant.
And there's really no other reason to do it other than you want to keep shit secret and you're doing some squirrely shit. In my opinion, I mean, why the hell did she need to have private servers after she knows that she wasn't supposed to have private servers? Other than you're getting fucking kickbacks from everybody and trying to keep it secret.
She didn't want to have multiple devices, one that had all the private stuff that couldn't be screwed up, like, or one that didn't have to, like, switch phones essentially in order to
just fucking laziness.
Classified. I keep getting confident with classified information.
No, it's the same kind of thing, dude. But classified is more exact, I guess. But gotcha.
But the whole thing is insane, and she's not the only one to have done it. And look, ultimately, a lot of the people who've done what she's done have ended up with like a year or two in jail at most. It's not like they're going to put her in jail for the rest of her life.
Right.
It should be the same law applies to everybody, no matter who you are or what your class or rank or whatever you want to call it is.
Right.
And that's what really frustrates people and why people are so angry about it.
Yeah.
Because she didn't even have to go to a trial.
Yeah, they're just not going to do anything. And it's like, especially after the fucking, it was quite a while back when the FBI, I don't know if you ever seen the video where, like, Hillary saying something and then they cut to the FBI guy saying something completely contradictory to what she's claiming.
Oh, yeah.
But basically, at the end, he's like, essentially he's saying, people have gotten busted and gone to jail for this, but we're not doing it in this case. And that's basically
Which isn't even his place to say. The FBI doesn't decide who presses charges or not.
That's it should be the Attorney General, right?
It's the Attorney General or the what do you call it? District Attorney, like in whatever area. Those are the people who make that choice because they're the ones that's their job. Police, FBI, they just gather evidence and present it to the people who decide whether or not to pursue the crime in court.
Yeah, it's
for him to say that was absolutely out of line, and that people think that that's how that works is fucking absurd.
Yeah, yeah. So, like you said, they're essentially just the police. Like you said, you got the local police, then you got sheriffs for counties, and state police for the whole state. They're essentially the same, but federal. They're the federal branch of the police, basically. Yeah, none of those people are supposed to be worrying about whether charges get pressed.
Yeah, it's like when you see in the movies. Well, sometimes the police can choose not to pursue or arrest you and just dismiss everything at a ground level because they're just like, it's just not worth anybody's time.
Right,
like
right.
Your neighbor and you get in a fight and you pushed each other, they can be like, well, technically both of you committed assault, but we're just not going to arrest either one of you because it'd just be ridiculous and everybody's time would be wasted, and it just wasted time.
Right. Just leave them, let them off with a warning or whatever.
So they do have some some sway in that level of like, I don't have to enforce the law here.
Right. But yeah, something that big, Jesus Christ, dude.
But yeah, it was something along those lines. Like you do have to go through like the attorney general, district attorney's office, that kind of thing. But if you're like giving somebody a break on a speeding ticket, that's a different level entirely. It's not a felony. You're talking about a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
Because even pushing each other is like a misdemeanor assault. It's not a felony assault. Like you don't have to punch someone in the face for that.
Yeah, pretty nuts, man. Although, yeah, I was kind of disappointed, like when early on, when Trump said, like, yeah, we're not going to pursue anything against her. Like, I really wish you wouldn't have said that. I was like, I wish you would have just said nothing. Either way.
It's kind of a standard. It's a standard that was set with Nixon. Really.
Right.
They were essentially going to kick him out of office, but he resigned, and then the person who took the position after him immediately.
Ford pardoned him
on a pardon and stuff, and so Trump would actually be obligated just by the tradition,
by precedent. Yeah, precedent has been set basically.
Yeah, that they would feel like he was obligated to pardon her if they followed through, and it's considered poor sportsmanship, I guess, to go after the other team.
I get why
the other team committed a felony. I don't really fucking care.
Yeah.
It's like if Trump had been found guilty of the two women who obviously had false allegations rape against him, but say that they were actually real, true allegations, and he was found guilty, I would absolutely want him in jail. I wouldn't want him pardoned because he was the president. There's no fucking there's no give in that. I don't think there should never be.
Yeah, that's definitely different. Especially, apparently, if I recall correctly, he's supposed to not be held to trial for anything he does while he's president, but something that happened before he was president should be fair game. But yeah, it was bullshit anyway.
Both those women dropped the charges because they knew they were fake.
Right.
Specifically announced prior to it that she was pushing charges because she didn't want him to win the president's office, which she should have been arrested. Arrested for false filing.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that's happening because that's a fucking horrible thing to accuse somebody of falsely.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a horrible act, obviously. For those that actually do it, fuck them, they're horrible. But yeah, to accuse somebody of that when it didn't happen, dude, is absolutely horrible as well, man. Because even if it's dropped, even if nothing happens to him,
you've ruined their life. In a big bad public way.
Yeah, the reputation's still going to be ruined, and all that shit.
When you're talking about somebody who's not like in the limelight, not just a regular Joe, not a celebrity, they might have to like move to another city or state,
right?
To really like escape the fucking repercussions.
They'd have to start all over because people tend to still assume you're guilty even if you don't actually get convicted. They'll just think you got away with it.
Yeah, if you're talking about a celebrity, like it's no coming back.
Right, because they're too well known. But yeah, you're right.
Unless you're Cosby, apparently, in which case you fucking made a Teflon. Or Michael Jackson, in which case you're made of Teflon. You have billions of dollars. You can fucking get away with anything.
Yeah, you can get
the little kids at the park. Yeah, go for it. You're Michael Jackson. You wrote, beat it.
Right? Yeah, just pay the kids' families off, and you're good to go.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of false fucking filing charges and stuff, a homeboy who claimed he got stabbed by Antifa. Total bullshit.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that. That's really disheartening, dude, because that was that fucking fake hate crime bullshit was exclusively leftist, dude, for the longest time.
Yeah,
I hate to see it going on on this side, you know.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate that he basically fucked his own group of people up. I don't think he was doing it for the right wing though, and I don't think the people who are on the left are doing it for the left wing. I think they're doing it just for like their own personal attention. I don't think it's politically motivated as much as it is just like I want to be in the limelight kind of thing.
Yeah.
I want everybody to pay attention and feel bad for me. So
yeah,
I'm gonna do this.
Some of it's probably a little bit of both. There's probably a little bit that's politically motivated, or not politically. Well, yeah, kind of politically motivated. But yeah, you're right. There's probably most of it is probably just attention-seeking bullshit.
I'm sure
People
they
are nuts.
justify it in their head by claiming they're doing what's right for their party, but I guarantee you that most of it is just
it's just a narcissistic need for fucking attention. Yeah. But yeah, some of that shit got crazy. Like the fucking chick that was drawing swastikas on her own fucking dorm room door.
Oh man,
they end up filming and realizing she did it.
There's a show called Blue Bloods, and it's all about cops and stuff in New York, and a lot of the stuff they talk about on there is like the SJW stuff, and they deal with it really fairly accurately. And they actually covered that. There was a fucking whole storyline in there where the youngest girl who's in like high school and just got into college meets this girl in college, and this girl's getting her into all this fucking social justice bullshit, and then all these death threats and rape threats are written on her door in permanent marker. And I think there was like some swastikas too or something like that.
Right.
And it turns out that it was, she wrote them herself.
Yeah, that's crazy. So it's like a fictional show, but kind of based on.
Well, in that particular thing was obviously taken from the headlines. I don't know how much of the rest of it is.
Yeah, but I'm saying that show, it wasn't covering it as reality. They were doing a dramatization, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, cool.
It's very entertaining. It goes a lot of, it starts to cover a lot of the police and black community relations and minority relations and stuff like that. And you get to see it really fairly accurate from the police's point of view of like, look, we're just doing what we can to protect the people of the city. We're not.
Yeah,
we don't care what color their criminal is. We're just going after the criminal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we don't like that we have to arrest all these people any more than you want us to arrest them. But
they're breaking the law. Yeah. And there's definitely, obviously, there are some racist motherfuckers that are doing fucked up shit. That's a very small. I can't know for sure, but that's a very small part.
In general, the cops don't like them any more than the people do. It's just really difficult to, like, they always want to give the benefit of the doubt to their buddy, So it's
it's almost like they have that kind of unwritten code of you don't snitch on the other cops or whatever. But when they're doing that kind of shit, I don't know. I think you kind of have to, man.
Well, here's the thing. So there's a huge divide between police now and the police the way they were, say, 10 years ago.
Right.
Especially in like big cities. Like 10 years ago, they still walked the beat. They interacted with the community. They went out and talked with people. And, it's much more of a like, hey, we're on your side. We want to be here. If you need to come talk to us and figure stuff out, we'll help you out.
Right.
And I think a lot of the privatization of prisons has led to the point where the police they don't walk beats. They just go out and collect people as much as they can. They're being pressured to make more arrests and lower the crime rate and all sorts of things for the budget for their department. And all of it combines to sort of separate them from the community and make them sort of otherized.
Yeah, because it definitely does seem like it's gotten completely antagonistic between both. Like, not only does the community kind of hate the cops, but the cops seem to start now having disdain for the community, like the people in the community. Yeah, really missing that connection. That's why people don't want to help the cops out, even if it's a piece of shit they're protecting or not snitching on. They're like, fuck you, cop. I'm not gonna fucking help you. You know, which seems counterproductive. Like, if you, especially if it's some real heinous crimes, like it seems like you'd want them out of the neighborhood, regardless of what their skin color is.
Well, in a lot of cases they do, but there's also like that person has other friends who will fucking visit the vendetta on whoever turns them in.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's,
you'd almost have to get put in the witness protection program to fucking be able to do it. Like, you'd have to leave town.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about, like, especially, like, gang crime in, like, a big city, you know, you got, what is it? Yeah, it's the stench ever. So early. Thursdays we do early shows. But if you're talking about, like, a big tenement building, there might be, you know, 20 or 30 gang members, and you get 2 or 3 of them arrested. That's, you know, 17 or 18 of them left that are not real happy with you.
Yeah, and they'll attack not only you, but, you know, your family, whatever.
Yeah, they want to get back at, you know, you for whatever imagined slight, even though you did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what was really funny? So this is the thing I saw with the bike lock professor, and I'll maybe, you know, bring out his thing later. But he's super upset because, you know, the 4chan did all the work of finding him.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, oh, the police shouldn't, you know, have like all this help from everybody else. That's wrong. Like, that's not how that works. And it's like, clearly you don't know how police work.
Right. Like, they're going to pass up a fucking any kind of lead that they can find.
A substantial amount of the work that gets done investigatively really starts at people doing their own investigation.
Mm-hmm.
The police only have so much resources. And so, like, unless there's a really good chance, like, they can't afford to put, you know, a cop watching the guy that deals weed down the street.
Right.
You know, they can't have cops watching that 24/7 and building a case over time. But like in my neighborhood, we had a house that was selling drugs, and hey man, if it was just a little weed and everybody was cool, no big deal. But shit where, like, you know, some guy and his girlfriend would be sitting in the car and then he just starts slamming her face into the fucking glove box, we're not okay with.
God damn, that really happened?
Yeah, that really happened. I wasn't there, or it should have been a lot more violence following that up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But, you know, so like, you know, then the neighbors all took turns like videoing and keeping logs, and eventually got all enough information that the police could basically raid the house.
Wow.
You know, enough to get the police, make it worth the police's time to go and follow up on it and raid the house. And that's how you that's how that works a lot of the times. Very rare, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm kind of wondered about that. Like, how do they find out? Like, I kind of figured they just somehow like got lucky and noticed that their, you know, certain house has a bunch of cars coming up and leaving 10 minutes later or 5 minutes later.
No, it's the neighbors that say it. It's the neighbors that call in. I'm like, you know, this house has got fucking people coming in and out of it every 10 minutes all fucking day and all night long, and they're real fucking sketch.
Right.
I don't want these motherfuckers stealing my TV. So why don't you come bust this crack house?
Yeah, that's the one thing. It depends. Like you said, if it's just weed or something like that, or even shrooms or something, like, it's, you know, you're not fearing them coming after, you know, crime coming into your neighborhood, but you start getting into like meth or fucking crack, and yeah, they're gonna fucking crime will follow, because people will do some crazy shit for that, or heroin too, you know, any of that shit.
Well, and you can't have a job. You know, that's one of the biggest things. So probably one of the biggest problems with drugs is, for the majority of them, if you're doing them, you can't also be working a job because you're doing them, not because you're incapable, but because they're in your system and shit.
Right. Yeah, I kept, you know, I did a pretty decent job of holding on to my employment, but it got really close. It got really close. Yeah, no, it's that. I'm the exception on that, but even I got really close, dude. Like, I got to the point where I was actually clean by this time, but like I had done so much, I'd missed so many days and shit before that when I got out, there was a stretch of like 6 or 7 months, where if I was even a minute late, that put me over the total and I would have been fired. And somehow I managed to not be late or anything for 6 or 7 months. Even my boss, she was like, I really didn't think you were going to make it. And I'm like, I didn't either. But I somehow managed it. But yeah, I came really close to losing my job because of that shit too. So,
And then you still have the addiction if you don't have the job. You still really want to do that drug, and so it's like, well, what will you do to get it?
Yeah.
Same thing.
No,
you
it
do
gets
to feed
really
yourself,
tough.
whatever it takes.
Yeah, it's really tough to fucking con people out of money, dude. Especially when you don't have a job. You know, because even with the job, holy shit, I was still having to fucking borrow money and shit. You know, making up stories.
Oh yeah.
I never had to actually rob people, but it's really not that much different. You know, it's still stealing, in my opinion. If I'm dishonestly, you know, people are on voluntarily giving me money, but
it's not for the doctor. It's for this.
Yeah, it's not for whatever bullshit I'm saying. Or if it is, it's something like, well, I got to get my power turned on, and you know, I'm not mentioning that the reason that I don't have the money for the power is because I already spent all my money on pills. You know, that kind of shit. So it's, I mean, it's if there's degrees of it, I guess it's different because I'm not like breaking into people's houses and stealing shit, but it's still stealing in my opinion.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah. Oh, and then when you don't have a job, you're like, fuck.
Yeah. Mickey in the chat has his aunt lives next to a drug house, and the feds won't do anything, and the sheriffs won't do anything either, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know why the sheriffs can't raid it. I'm not that well versed in it.
Sheriffs are probably on the take. If it's a small town, the sheriffs are probably on the fucking take.
Wouldn't surprise me at all if they're getting paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah, what she could do if she really wants to is start filming everybody that's going in and out, keeping a log of all the license plates and the times and stuff, and forward that on to like the FBI or the DEA.
Oh, yeah. Wow, sheriffs can't raid? That's weird.
Well, the sheriffs can. Sheriffs can raid anything. Like it's they just need a warrant. So I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, unless it's something just unique where Miggy lives. I don't know.
Could be a weird state law that I'm not aware of. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they're too poor. Maybe there's not enough money for them to raid. That's possible too.
Oh, right. Like they just have zero resources to do anything.
That's the reality versus the movie. And the reality, the feds are always welcome because they bring in money and resources and manpower. In the movies, they hate them. Like, oh, you're going to take our credit. And in the reality, it's like they just want to get the fucking bad guy, man.
Right. They're all on the same team, basically. Yeah.
They're like, what? You already have all these extra resources and all these extra men to help me catch this murderer? Terrible.
You assholes. Right? Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous, dude. Damn.
I've always thought that was funny. I had a cop give me a dirty look once. Fucking talk about the separation between the people and the cops. He pulled me over by accident. He thought I was trying to avoid him because he thought my driver's registration was out, but he couldn't read it from where he was, so he decided to pull me over just to check.
All right.
And I'm like, oh, okay, hey man, he's doing his job, no big deal, and have a good night, stay safe,
Right.
And he gave me a dirty look. He's like, stay safe. I'm like, well, yeah, you're a dangerous job, man. I don't want you getting hurt. That's fucking stay safe.
Oh, I thought you were being a fucking smart ass, dude.
Yeah. I guess.
Or even
I don't know.
or something.
Like, I shouldn't have said anything like that, I guess. It was fucking ridiculous. I thought that was pretty
wow. Yeesh. Did you smooth it over then, or was he still kind of fucking pissed?
He just kind of gave me a dirty look and left. And I was just like, whatever, man.
Oh, like, no, I'm serious. I swear to God, I'm serious. Now, if you said something like, all right, now, see you later, watch your back, like, that's pretty
obvious. That might be a little bit weird.
Right. But sounds like a cop to stay safe. That's fucking...
Stay safe out there. I'd say the same thing to like a fireman, dude.
Yeah.
Or an ambulance driver for that matter, because those fuckers got no authority and they got to go and deal with all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah, fuck that. Yeesh. Yeah, that's some nasty shit, dude. Yeah, those fuckers have to deal with people attacking. People could attack them while they're trying to fucking save somebody, or that kind of crazy shit, dude. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was a video out there somewhere. You probably don't watch the video, but. Where essentially like this girl was beat up and stabbed by her boyfriend, and the ambulance shows up and they put her on the rig and they're fucking treating her, trying to save her life, and he fucking runs out and starts stabbing them and stabbing her again.
Jesus, dude, that's fucking insane, man.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a dangerous job.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, and in GTA, man, I always fucking jack their ambulance. Poor medics.
The GTA ambulance people have to watch out for you for sure.
Those guys are crazy. They got a crazy job.
Well, fucking in GTA, from what I've seen of the gameplay, I haven't really played much of it myself. I tried, but I just couldn't get past the first part. Fucking like everybody like might just start attacking you at any point.
Like usually you got to provoke them. Usually you have to do something.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you start doing some shit, but like you might get greased by the guy behind the counter at the fucking convenience store you're robbing.
Yeah, sometimes
got a shotgun and point blank nail you in the face.
Yeah, or if you attack somebody, and sometimes it doesn't even have to be like you could run and accidentally bump somebody. And that's pretty rare, but if you're in a certain neighborhood, there'll be 8 more motherfuckers ready to attack you, dude. Like the whole neighborhood kind of joins in if you're in the wrong spot. It's pretty crazy.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's a hell of a cool thing they put in their AI.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. Although they scatter when the cops show up, man, so it sucks. As soon as you start getting the stars or whatever, that shuts down as soon as the cops show up. Well, I guess that's pretty realistic. I guess that is pretty realistic. Come to think of it, like they're not going to
cops just start shooting you. They don't even care.
Fuck
that. We're just fucking put you in the dirt.
Yeah. Although it's really fun with the cheats, dude. When you're fucking invincible and you're just trashing shit. Although they don't have a permanent one. I know it goes like 5 minutes at a time. So like when I'm getting close, I always have to like fucking hurry up and run away so I can re-enter the code before they fucking waste me in 2 seconds.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and I always similar things on like I played Elder Scrolls a lot, the Skyrim. And you can do similar.
Right.
You can like tweak the console and make your character like super fucking powerful and shit.
Yeah. Well, I did that just fucking making all the skills legendary over and over again. I got my character up to like level 215 or some ridiculous shit, just by constantly spamming. I think alterations is one I mainly did over and over again. But yeah, it got so ridiculous.
Is that the one where you do like a telekinesis and it boosts it?
Yeah, telekinesis does a really good job. I think muffle is one of them, or that might be a different one. But telekinesis, the detect life spell does it really quick. And,
detect life. Okay.
Yeah, and I would just do that. Like as I was running through the cities and shit, I would do detect life constantly, just as I'm moving along, and it moves up the thing pretty quick. Because I would have like 4 things, like like a couple ring and necklace or whatever, and all of them, reduce the amount that alteration uses up, to where it just didn't go down at all. Like the magic would never go down.
Yeah, I made a mage class one time that fucking maxed its what's the one that just shoots like a fucking Dragon Ball Z stream of fucking lightning or something like that.
Right.
And it was
Muffle's illusion. I kind of thought Muffle wasn't under alteration. I knew the other ones were. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, no worries.
But yeah, Muffle definitely does it. Yeah, Muffle for illusion definitely grinds it pretty quick.
Yeah, there's like the master level, because like you get the highest spell level, and then you can like go find certain like extra spells that you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah. After you get it over 90, usually whatever magic is pretty.
Yeah, lightning is like just a stream of fucking lightning that just blasts forever until you run out of power. Well, if you do the whole thing where you set it up so it takes 0% of your magic, you can just go through dungeons just streaming lightning the whole time and just slowly walking through, killing everything that fucking moves.
Yeah, those ones you can go relatively quickly. The one I hated was restoration, dude. Trying to fucking grind restoration sucks, dude.
I did that when I was doing blocking. So I'd go find a giant and have the giant just attack me while I held the shield in one hand and healed with the other.
Yeah, or you can just bash. If you have Shadow Mirror, you can just constantly shield bash Shadow Mirror.
The other thing you can do is there's a spell that converts HP to MP.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You do that with one hand, and you do restore with the other hand, so you're just not really going lower or higher for a while, and it does both those spells schools really well.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of ways to kind of break the game, basically. Yeah.
Well, the one that used to be was the big thing that gives you like 5 points and like 6 or 7 different skills. Oh, I forget what the book is.
The Ogma Infinium.
Yeah, basically you could like do that. As there used to be a glitch you could exploit that you could just do it over and over and max everything out.
Oh no shit. Yeah.
They
Well, I
fixed
know
that.
you could still drop it. Like you can keep that book. Like if you drop it right before they're supposed to take it, like you come out of that weird little what is it, Septimus Cygnus's outpost or whatever. When you come out of that, if you drop it right there, you can it won't disappear and you can actually pick it up and keep it. That's
no, I mean,
but yeah, it doesn't keep leveling you up though.
Yeah, no, there was a way that you could do like it was a bookshelf glitch. Something about
gotcha.
like you use the book and then you put it on the bookshelf at the same time, like before you exit the screen, and then when you exit, you can pick it back up.
And it would do the same thing again.
Put it back on the bookshelf and keep getting it that way, and it would just never go away.
Yeah, I gotcha. They finally, they always patch the good shit.
Well, you know, it was incredible.
Yeah, but something that's kind of game. Yeah, that is kind of game breaking to be able to do it that quick. Yeah.
I mean, it was like because you had to be what, like level 30 at most. You can easily get that if you're like level 20 or 30.
Yeah. Yep. Those are pretty cool missions.
And then even if you set the game to hard mode after that, it's a fucking cakewalk.
No matter how hard you make it. Yeah, I remember I had my character so leveled up, and I didn't have any of the DLC. I didn't start playing Skyrim for a long time after it came out. Like the DLCs were all out and everything already by the time I played it. And I didn't have the DLC at first. I was playing through, and then I finally got the Dragonborn and all that. When I went to fight Mirak, I was so powerful, my weapons were so powerful that the first hit that I hit Mirak with drained so much power that it glitched out to where he would just sit there and he would be half invisible, whatever you call it, and he wouldn't drain the dragons for more power. Like it glitched out where he would just get stuck there because it took too much energy out of one shot with a fucking like a dragon bone dagger.
Yeah, I had that problem with Elder Scrolls. What was the one before? It wasn't 4, but Morrowind, number 3, I think it is.
Yeah, it's 3. Yeah.
Where I didn't do the soul trap trick, but I just got my character so high level and stolen shit that I shouldn't have.
Oh, all right.
Like there was, I forget there was like a king there, and if you could kill the king and kill all his guardsmen, like they'd always kill you on sight after that. But you could get these really powerful fucking rings.
Oh, all right.
Like a god, and so I did it. And then because it was on Xbox, it would fucking freeze whenever I went to the end game. I never beat the game because of that.
Oh, it sucks.
It just always freeze.
Yeah, I never played Morrowind or Oblivion. I have Oblivion. I bought it. Never fucking played it.
Oblivion was a lot of fun. It was the start of a lot of the functionality that they brought over to Skyrim. So a lot of the stuff in Skyrim that changed, there was a lot of stuff that changed from Morrowind to Oblivion that got brought over and made Skyrim as awesome as it was.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, no, my son plays it. He said he likes it a lot. He also, he's the reason I played Skyrim because I started one time, but it kind of starts off a little slow, so I never kind of really got into it. But I saw him playing it later on. I'm like, holy shit, oh, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that fucking intro is still not skippable in Skyrim either.
Yeah.
Like 5-minute fucking beginning sequence. It's still not. You still can't skip that shit.
Oh yeah, that is really slow. It's like, all right, we get it. We're about to get our heads chopped off or whatever. Yeah, I mean it's cool, but yeah, if you've seen it once, there's no reason you have to see it again, dude. Yeah, going through, riding on the wagon. Okay, they can at least eliminate some of that small talk.
When it first came out, that was pretty stunning as far as graphics for like Xbox 360.
Right.
Now it's really not, and I wish they'd include letting you skip it. They can still update the game.
Right. Yeah. There's no reason you have to listen to that more than once, dude. And yeah, if you're getting the HD version of the game, most likely you've already played it. So yeah, you definitely should be able to skip the opening sequence, dude. Yeah, it's kind of dumb. But yeah, I think that was part of the reason, because there was that long ass opening sequence, and then you're like running through that cave or whatever. Yeah, it's just I couldn't get into it. But yeah, then I ended up playing like literally over 2,000 hours I put into that fucking game, dude.
2,000 hours? You might actually have beat me.
I know my first
put a
character.
lot of hours into it, but goddamn.
Yeah. Dude, I was playing it. My first character alone had over 1,400 hours, dude. And the reason was I didn't want to finish it, so I would never go to fight Alduin. I would constantly do more companion quests or like, you know, all the other shit, the side quests, the Radiant quests over and over again because I didn't want to finish the game. You know, and then you know
after you beat Alduin, though, you know that, right? Like you.
Oh yeah, yeah, but I just didn't want to feel like I was done with the main quest. So yeah. I was kind of putting that off. But then I also didn't have the DLC at that point, you know. So later on, I ended up doing obviously Solstheim and all the other shit as well.
Yeah, getting kids, getting houses, killing vampires.
Yeah, like, the vampires
a whole other land thing.
Yeah, I hated the vampires attacking the towns, dude, because they would always kill like the blacksmith or, you know, somebody that you don't want dead, basically.
Always a mage, or what if I can, in the game I'm in now, because I just thought it'd be fun to see how it goes. The main junk store in the Riften, not Riften. What's the first big town you go to?
Riverwood.
Not Riverwood, but it's the one right after Riverwood.
What was it? Whiterun?
Yeah, Whiterun. The guy that runs the miscellaneous store there, the junk store.
Bellathor.
That guy's fucking dead, and that nobody replaces him. Even like his little, I thought his dude would replace him, so I just kept playing for a while. And then later on down, I went to go back to the store, and that little dude never replaces him.
Oh, well, I thought the guy that's chopping wood is supposed to replace him.
Apparently not. My shit.
Wow.
So that store's just gone now.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
And that dude's body just hung out in the middle of town for like a good fucking week of game time.
Yeah, that is crazy how sometimes it'll just stay there forever. Dude, I used to litter the town, man, because you know what? If you drop shit in the towns, it'll stay there forever, dude. It's weird.
I used to make towns. That was my thing.
Yes, dude, yes.
Steal everybody's clothes over and over until like everybody's just running around butt naked because they just gave up.
Yeah, dude, I fucking love that shit, dude. Pickpocket their clothes, dude.
Yep.
That's fucking hilarious, man.
Oh, every character I've ever made eventually becomes like an archer thief.
Mm-hmm.
So I just from afar. It's just like that's all I ever do with it. Because it's like when I get up close, I have to actually learn how to fight with this fucking weird 2-weapon system. Now I'm just shoot with an arrow from like across the room and not have to fucking worry.
Yeah. My sneak and my archery are always archery takes a while, dude. But yeah, sneaking goes up pretty quick. But yeah, my sneak and archery are always pretty high, man.
Well, I mean,
it up there.
The sneak is the one you can do in the very beginning when you're escaping from the place where you're going to get beheaded, escaping the dragon. Right. Like right before you get to the bear, that's the part where you just go and fucking stab that dude in the back forever because he can't die. So
oh shit! No, I never realized.
Yeah, you do backstab over and over, and your sneak goes up. Like you can get it to 100 before you leave there.
Man, that's fucking crazy. Nope, I never did that. It goes. I just literally would do the hunched over sneak everywhere I went, dude.
Oh wow, okay, that's how you're supposed to build it. And that's how I did in like Morrowind, but
yeah, no, I never heard of that, man.
Yeah, it's a glitch where you just that first guy, you just go there and fucking stab him in the back over and over and over. Build your sneak all the way to 100 before you leave. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, damn, I wish I would have fucking known that. Although again, I did all right, I think.
It's especially helpful when you're starting out because you can do that little like you go into sneak mode and then it like suddenly they can't see you for a second, and if you've got that like 30 times knife fucking damage or 15 or whatever it is, you just down and you're in trouble and then fucking stab them with a dagger and they're done. You know, 30 times damage or some crazy amount.
Yeah, it is crazy, like especially if you have not only your sneak maxed out, but then you have the rings and the clothing or whatever that's got sneak on it too. You can literally be right in front of the people and they can't fucking see you.
Oh yeah, no, it's awesome.
Yeah, because early on, especially, like it's fucking hard to steal shit, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's supposed to.
I'm glad it's not like Fallout where you fucking it actually like negatively affects your overall character or whatever.
Yeah, the one thing I did a couple times that was like ridiculous was collect all those strange gems.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Stones of Berenzia or Berenzia.
Yeah.
Sorry, I always pronounce that wrong.
Those are always a trip because like once you finally get that, suddenly there's fucking diamonds everywhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the Prowler's Prophet is ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's called Prowler's Prophet.
Because I played on computer like Skyrim. I played it on Xbox, so I have probably a couple hundred hours there that I never played. But I have a few hundred hours on computer as well. Because there's just so much more you can do with the computer version. But I took the house in, I forget where it is. It's like it's not in the capital, but it's over like south of there.
Markarth?
Yeah, Markarth House. And I would just get all the gems because at a certain point I just had so much money it didn't matter because you can like enchant things and sell them for money, and there's a bunch of ways to make a profit. But I literally started filling the house with gems to the point where like I could go in and do the dragon shout, the one that the dragon push or whatever.
Right, from Shroda, man.
And it would just fucking it would glitch my whole thing out. I'd shut the game down because it would scatter all the gems at once.
Damn. Yeah, I never did that shit. That's fucking hilarious, though.
I stopped. I was like, I don't fucking need them. The other thing I would always do is I would always adopt kids and then fill their room with skulls, human hearts, and I think it's like ribs or something is the other one you can get, or is it like human flesh? That's what it was.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So human skulls, human hearts, and human flesh. And I just would assume I was raising necromancers.
Nice.
But they just like they go in and just like glitch out sort of and like push through these like fucking piles of dead human body parts.
Right.
And it was like, and everybody would pretend they weren't there. Like nobody would acknowledge that there's this fucking pile of human skulls in their fucking children's bedroom.
Yeah, that's pretty twisted, dude. But that's fucking hilarious. Did you ever see? Have you ever watched any of the Skyrim parodies that they have on YouTube?
I've seen a little bit of stuff here and there. I haven't watched a lot.
Yeah. There's one called the Senile Scribbles. It's by a guy named Shanzaz, I think it is. Seanzoz. Yeah, his is fucking hilarious, dude. Yeah, actually, no, I'll probably end up sending that to you. Like, they're like 2 or 3 minute for each episode. I think it's like 10 episodes, but it's
that's
really
cool. I like when they keep it short because like a lot of times it's like the joke is really only a couple minutes long, but the video is like fucking half an hour, and you're like, I didn't need the half hour to get to the joke.
Right.
Like,
no, this guy, the animation,
cable TV.
yeah, the animation is really good and everything, dude. Like, it's fucking awesome. Because there's very, very few of the Skyrim parodies that I see are really that good, and his is fucking just perfect, man. Well, I don't want to hype it too much, but I think you'll enjoy it. Yeah, I'll send it to you. I think I can actually send. I think he made one with the whole run of all of them, so that way I don't have to send you separate episodes. But yeah, they're 2 or 3 minute clips at a time. Or the Nerdist channel did a Cops Skyrim, like kind of a take on the Cops show, but it was basically in Skyrim. Those are pretty funny too. But yeah, the Nerdist channel did that, and that was fucking hilarious. But Senile Scribbles, definitely the best.
Yeah. Oh God, what was it? I was watching Cunt Stream last night, and I heard like the most offensive joke ever from Jeff Holiday.
Oh,
it was the worst I've ever heard. Like, how do you know when a black girl's pregnant?
How?
When you pull the tampon out all the cotton's been picked off.
God damn!
Like, I've never heard that before. It blew my mind.
That's fucking.
Damn, Jeff, that's way over the
line. Clever, but yeah, very offensive, dude. Love it. That was fucking awful. And I'm judging myself for laughing and thinking it's funny.
It is, though. There's a minute of like, it's like, oh wow, damn.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm sure there's white people jokes. You just don't get to hear them. I want to hear them. If anybody,
but we don't get offended either. You know what I mean? Like, it took a long time of hearing the fucking, die Siscum or fucking kill Whitey, or it took a long time of hearing that before I actually took it seriously. You know what I mean? Before it actually started pissing me off. It took a long time before well, it depends. I mean, it's just I shouldn't say pissed off, but I'm just tired of it, dude. Like, just like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, wears you down. Where you're just like, I get it. I want it. All right.
Like at first it was kind of cute, and then now it's getting to the point where like I'm kind of like, holy shit, these people actually have some like pull in places. Like this is getting serious.
Well, I mean,
I think it was that more than anything.
The law in California where like caregivers, which would affect my job actually, because technically we're caregivers. If you misgender somebody, you could be put in jail for up to a year, fined. Clearly in violation of the Constitution, yet all the judiciary committees in California's government claim that it passes. It's not illegal. And it's like, no, that's a clear violation of the fucking First Amendment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing of judges kind of overstepping. Like, that should be so fucking obvious that that's unconstitutional.
And you don't even need it. There's no reason for that law to exist.
Yeah.
If you're deliberately harassing somebody, regardless of how you're harassing them, you're still harassing them. Yeah. There's already laws that deal with that. They don't need special laws with extra special punishment. Like there's already a law in place to deal with harassment. That's clearly harassment. If somebody said, hey, I don't want you to refer to me this way, and you're in a position of authority over them like a caregiver is, and you're consistently doing it anyway, it's still considered abuse. You don't need it to have, a specific law about gendering correctly or whatever. So,
yeah, it's kind of ridiculous how a lot of the laws like that are passing. Like, especially, New York and California. I mean, Canada, obviously, or at least Ontario. But New York and California are starting to pass these crazy ass laws that are just.
It started with the fucking hate laws. Sorry, I don't see a reason for hate laws. I used to think they were a good thing, but I'm kind of got to the point where I'm like, fucking dead is dead, man. I don't think it matters who killed you or why.
Right.
You're still dead. Yeah. It's still a crime.
Yeah, that is pretty ridiculous, dude.
If somebody beat you up because they don't like black people, or they beat you up because they're just an asshole, I don't really give a shit why. That's just one. It's the same crime.
Yeah, that's true. Like, why is there additional? Yeah, it's like, all right, if you want to kill someone, you better make sure you don't hate them before you kill. That's not the reason. Like, well, isn't that kind of?
Yeah.
Most likely, if it's murder, I mean, manslaughter may be different, but.
What you're saying is a minority's life is more valuable than anyone else's when you're doing that because they're more protected. They get extra protection. And it's like,
and obviously that should be unconstitutional.
If you want honesty, if you want not honesty, fucking, what do you call it?
Equity, equality.
Equality. I can't remember because I'm such a hateful Nazi, right? But if you want equality, then just stop taking that into account.
It's privileged white male.
Stop collecting race information on every fucking forum.
Yeah. That's what I don't get is like they talk so much about equality or even equity, but like you realize if you're regardless of what the reason is, like if you're giving preferential treatment, it's not equality.
Yeah.
That can't be equality. Like that whole shit, like where I'm sure you've seen it plenty of times where you make the same statement and you replace black with white or white with black, and one's acceptable and one's not.
Oh, they
like
fucking,
on Twitter and shit.
They did this thing. I forget what it was, but there's like a thing where basically it just replaced white male with Jew. In like a bunch of BLM stuff.
Right.
So any sort of instance when they talk about white male, it just replaces it with Jew, and it literally sounds like fucking Nazi Hitler fucking speeches.
Yep. It's pretty crazy. And then they're like, well, we're not racist because we don't have power or whatever, which is ridiculous. But then even then, I'm like, okay, so what? Prejudice is a good thing? Like, we're just prejudiced. Okay, so that's a good thing then? Is that what you're saying? It's the same fucking thing. So, and how many white people actually have power? Like, that's fine if there's a lot of white people in power, but there's not a lot. There's a lot of fucking white people that don't have any fucking power or authority, but they still do just because they're white.
Yep.
Like, I've never understood that. A vast majority of white people are not in positions of power, dude. But just because you're white, then it's assumed that you have this privilege or whatever.
Oh, and Mike kind of buys into that a little bit sometimes. It's kind of funny. I was trying to like get it, figure out where he was coming from on that, and I'm like, So like poor white people have more privilege than like rich black people. And he was kind of like,
really?
well, in a certain way. And I'm just like, no, it's not at all true. But okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, you remember that shit with Trey Melvin and I think it was Jeff actually.
Trayvon Martin.
No. Trey Melvin.
Oh, there's another guy,
he's a
Trey Melvin.
YouTuber type guy. He's got like I don't know 3 million followers or whatever.
Right? Rich black kid who's shit like super fucking racist.
Yeah, he's the one that said that a bum here has more privilege than I do.
I remember that. That was fucking funny.
Yeah.
That guy was fucking right. What a kooky dude, man.
Yeah.
I want to fucking sit down and have coffee with a guy like that, just because he's got to be so fucking crazy.
Yeah, it would be interesting if nothing else, right? Or who's the other one?
Stories you'd hear. Imagine like the wacky stories and the fucking weird justification and shit.
Yeah, just listening to how they fucking view the world, it would be fascinating, dude. Yeah. Or what's his name? Tariq Nasheed. Are you familiar with Tariq Nasheed?
I've heard about him, but I've never watched his stuff.
Yeah. Well, he's the one they called people like some black guy and Bunty King. They calling them white supremacists.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like he'll call anybody a white supremacist if they disagree with him, even if they're black or Indian.
CNN apparently.
Right.
CNN does that shit.
Yeah. You're black. You're black. You're a white supremacist. You're like, dude.
Like, I don't think you understand how that works.
Yeah. But yeah, he's pretty entertaining, dude. He gets into it with Bunty King quite a bit and some black guy a little bit too. But it's pretty much anybody, really. Anybody that disagrees with him, he's just crazy. He's the one that did the he used to be a rapper and he had the song about wash your ass. And he talks about how it's
fucking funny. I don't.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking awesome, dude. You gotta look up Tariq Nasheed, man. You'll be fucking entertained because I've listened to part of the song. He's basically talking about how wash your ass is not just a literal thing; it's like a metaphysical meaning too, dude. It's fucking hilarious, dude.
Wash your ass.
Yeah, it's not just washing your ass; it's a metaphysical meaning too. Like, god damn, this dude's nuts. So yeah, and then he has put out books about pimping and shit.
So it was Tariq Elite and King Flex. So Tariq Nasheed used to be Tariq Elite or something like that, I'm guessing.
K Flex was his rapper name, I think.
Oh, King Flex. Okay.
Yeah, King Flex. Yeah. I assume K would be short for King. So
yeah, King Flex. Well, if you're gonna we with Kangs, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely big on that. I think he's done a lot of the ones that the videos that claim I think it's called Hidden Colors or something like that. Maybe not, but basically the one where it basically claims that all inventions and all of society, civilization has basically been done by exclusively black people, basically.
Oh, the big-headed scientists and shit. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so he's kind of part of that.
Created by that big-headed scientist, fucking I forget what his name is, and then fucking white people stole everything. And became super violent, took all the technology, and it's like, if that were the case, then why haven't black people started creating like better technology again? Like if they were advanced beings, that would logically stand to reason that even if we did, they would come back and come up with even better technology again later. I mean, nothing is
it's all ridiculous. I actually watched a video from the white YouTuber. I think it was yesterday. I don't know if you follow him, but he's pretty good, man. He definitely has potential. Like he's pretty new at it, but I can definitely see him being really good pretty quickly. I mean, he's good now, but eventually he was doing a video on this black chick who basically claimed that the white people invented their own race. Like we somehow manufactured white people. Like it's really weird the way she says it.
Fucking what are those little sea monkeys, man? You just get yourself a packet of whitey, fucking throw it in a jar, and you fucking stir in some water, and you start off with these little hateful white flecks swimming around, and then eventually, like they all kill each other off till there's only one white guy left, and then he eventually matures into a fully grown white male or white female.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. She literally was like, so who created the white race? it was a white man. I'm like, that's so fucking ridiculous. Like, it just kind of happened, dude. It's fucking evolution. Like, nobody fucking just created.
Racist, man.
Yeah. It's pretty nuts, man. It's kind of scary because but mostly just fucking hilarious.
It's as ridiculous as the right wing IQ people, the fucking race realists or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And it's equally as silly, where they're just like, no, it's just we're not racist. It's just those people are really dumb.
Right.
Why?
Yeah, I never understood that.
I don't think you get it.
Like, dude, I do not care. Yeah, I do not care at all what race happens to have the highest average IQ. That means nothing to me, dude.
Well,
I don't care at all.
Really, something that's accurately measured anyway. I mean,
yeah. But yeah, either way, I don't care. Like, it doesn't make me any smarter. Like, I didn't suddenly get a bonus IQ points because I was born white. You know what I mean?
Well, and like one of my friends said was like, even if you take the smartest out of every group and just get rid of everyone else, it's still going to be a mixed group. It's still not going to be all white people.
Yeah.
If you take the top 10% of people, you're still not going to have only white people. So, what's your fucking point?
Yeah. Plus, the fact that Asians outpace white people kind of throws a fucking wrench into their shit. But they can just kind of ignore that.
That's the way they can prove they're not racist. That's what they use to say, oh, I'm not racist. Asian people are smarter than white people.
Jesus.
And the reality is, that certain groups who are more driven and more culturally focused around tech jobs.
All right. Yeah.
That's really all IQ tests. It just tests your STEM compatibility.
Right.
An IQ test can't really test anything else. I mean, because intelligence is the ability to acquire and utilize skills. Right. Well, that's math, pattern recognition, and basic language is not the only skills you can acquire and use. And
I mean,
not really measuring somebody's true intelligence when that's all you're testing for an IQ test.
Yeah, and especially if you brought some of those people and let's say they're going to be sales reps or customer service reps, they're going to be fucking horrible at it because they, I shouldn't say all of them obviously, but there are a lot of them that are socially inept. So how can you, kind of reason that out? They can't do that at all. They can't interact with people. And
to use the black people as an example, if you go into the fucking sub-Saharan Africa and you're dealing with a tribe that's never really needed science or technology to survive, they just, they're hunter-gatherer tribe still.
Yeah, they had no need for innovation to survive. Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean they're unintelligent. It just means that their intelligence is measured in a different fashion. As in what is necessary for their survival, what skills and stuff do they learn and use. Right. So the most intelligent person in the tribe is going to be the guy who can track every animal the best, or knows which plants are good for you and which ones aren't, and which ones can help you if you're sick.
Right.
That's still
it's just different shit.
It's just a different.
It's just a different form. Yeah.
Exactly. And so you can't really measure it the way that the IQ tests want you to believe is measurable. That's really very European, Western world centric, and sort of delusional in that we're just going to measure this and we'll know everything we need to know about a person. Number one, it's a really inaccurate test.
Yeah.
It's not that it's not worthless, because we should keep trying to figure out how to measure and test those kind of things. But we should acknowledge that really that's not an end-all be-all the way we have it right
there's
now.
different kinds of intelligence, so a pretty broad range of different kinds too. Emotional intelligence or any of that shit, man. Exactly. It took me a long time to develop what little shitty emotional IQ I had. Well, I shouldn't say emotional, but social. I'm not not very good at the social shit. Kind of a hermit, kind of scared.
Yeah.
Not scared, but not really that interested in fucking going out and fucking hanging out and shit.
Yeah, and anybody who's looking here, the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills.
Yeah,
that's what intelligence is. So, clearly, just testing somebody's math ability, language comprehension, and basic pattern recognition is not in any way, shape, or form a true test of intelligence.
Right. Yeah, just that particular type. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, although, you know what, I kind of do want to know what I've never taken an IQ test. Other than when I was in rehab, that was part of for some reason.
I was a huge fucking nerd in high school, and I took one, and I got into like the Mensa level. But like even then, I looked at it, and I'm like, anybody could study for like a month and score what I did. It's not like it wouldn't even be hard.
Yeah. It's kind of flawed that way too, if you know how the test is. But yeah, apparently I still
you wouldn't even have to know how the test is. You would just have to study, like. Just a little bit past basic algebra, like into some calculus, and anybody can do it. Like you might not necessarily be able to do it well, but like you could probably study up and memorize some formulas and be able to handle it enough for that test.
Right, get a pretty high score. Yeah.
You know, just study some basic language comprehension. If you have trouble with like certain word definitions or some spelling or something, work on that. And just pattern recognition. You know, you can go through and do puzzles, Sudoku, anything like that to train your brain for more pattern recognition. You're going to get a higher score on that.
I wish I would have had her give me the actual score though, so I'd have an idea. But it wasn't even a full test. Like the psychiatrist or psychologist or whatever, she told me, she's like, yeah, it's not a full test. Like there's a score, but it's not a full thing. You know, and she just told me that I was, you know, significantly above average. Or way above average, because I was kind of worried about that, but you know, coming out of using as much drugs and shit as I did, I was kind of worried, like, if I completely fried my brain.
I think
like, you're atypical, you're way above average, even for drug addicts.
Have a place, and that's, you know, where should we put somebody as far as like school? Like I almost skipped a grade when I was in kindergarten. I could have gone and skipped kindergarten and just did first grade.
Right.
They thought I was dumb because I couldn't write because I'm dysgraphic. This is way before like anybody was typing anything. You hand wrote everything when I was in kindergarten.
You know they don't even teach cursive anymore.
Yep, I know. I'm glad.
At first I was like, "What the fuck?" Man. Yeah, no, I get it now. But my first initial reaction was, "What the fuck? What?" And then I'm like, "Oh yeah, nobody writes anymore. Everybody types or fucking does that shit." But it did kind of freak me out at first. I was like, "Holy shit, they don't teach cursive."
Yeah, I think all they teach now is how to sign your name.
Right. Yeah, I don't think they've even taught that. My son's 13, and I don't think they've even taught him that. But yeah, my initial reaction, I'm like, that can't be right. And then I was like, yeah, that would be kind of ridiculous to still be teaching that.
Well, I know people who their legal signature is just the shape that they draw.
Yeah, it's
not like a square. It's like an intricate shape, but still. Like,
yeah, that's pretty nuts, man. Yeah, writing should be pretty much obsolete at this point.
In a few years it'll just be like, you know, which emojis do you put together in a certain order will be your signature.
Right.
Smiley face, you know, laughing to tears face or whatever. You know, that's my signature.
Right. Yeah. Just got to be unique. However many you throw in there.
Like your unique signature will be how you draw the emojis. You'll like put several emojis in an order, and that'll be your name. And then how you draw them is, you know, what your signature will be.
Yeah. Although I still don't understand the Common Core thing. I've seen examples. Are you familiar with the Common Core math and all that shit?
Yeah, how to make sure your kid will never pass a college math course.
Dude, it's weird, right?
Yeah,
like I look at it and I don't get it. Like I haven't tried really hard, but I look at it and I'm like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't understand what they're doing here. I'm really like at a loss, dude. I assume if I actually looked into it, I'd figure out how the fuck it works, but it just looks really bizarre to me, dude. It's really dumbing it down, right? Again,
I just found a little image of it to put up. Old math used versus new math, subtraction. Using the old-fashioned math memorization, like 32 minus 12 is 20. No, that's not, actually. You sit there and you go like 32, and then you say the 2 from 2 is 0, 1 from 3 is 2. Right. Some of it's memorization, but it's also using what you've memorized to logically work out like the next steps. And then subtraction using the new Common Core Prove your answer away.
Mm-hmm.
12 plus 3 equals 15. 15 plus 5 equals 20. 20 plus 10 equals 30. 30 plus 2 equals 32. Answer is 20. What the fuck? How did that even happen?
Oh, okay. I think I get it. You're going to the nearest 5, and then you're going to the nearest 10, and then at the last part, you just add the last 2. I think. Am I seeing that right? Because look, 12 plus 3
I see what you're saying,
15,
yeah.
and then that's the nearest 5, and then it goes, you need another 5 to get to 20, the nearest 10, and then another 10 to get to the 30, and then you just add the 2. Is that what it is?
It's the dumbest way I've ever seen in my life, because then at the end you're just having to do another addition question.
Yeah, you still have to add up those four numbers, dude.
Which is more complicated than the original subtraction question in the first place.
Yeah, I don't get that at all, dude. Like, how hard is it to subtract 2 from 2 and then 1 from 3? Like, that's fucking so simple, dude. You cannot make it. What does that say?
Tell how to make 10 when adding 8 plus 5. You cannot make 10 with 8 plus 5. You can take 2 from 5 and add it to 8. 8 plus 2 equals 10, then add 3. See, that doesn't make fucking sense. Like, that's strategic. That's completely illogical.
Yeah. I'm proud of whoever that kid is, or whatever. I'm impressed. I shouldn't say proud. Not my kid, but I'm impressed with whatever kid
You can try
gave
somebody
that
else's
answer.
kid. Take pride in somebody's kid. That's fine.
Yeah, it gives me hope, I guess.
There you go.
Good job, buddy.
Subtract 38 from 325. Jesus Christ, it's just 287, man.
Yeah.
Right, I gotta check that. I think I'm right.
What was it? Subtract 38 from 325?
Yeah, 287.
I mean, I'll do something with that. I would really subtract. I would subtract 40 and add 2. Like, that's how I do it. Something like that, because that's a little easier. But that's still pretty far from that, whatever they're doing with the Common Core thing. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's close to something like that, like 38 to 40, I will subtract 40 and add 2. Like, that's faster than figuring anything else out.
Yeah, you were right.
Get that.
So they're supposed to start with the number they're subtracting from and add 2 to the nearest 10, then count up to the nearest 100, then count up to the largest possible 100.
Yeah, that's extra steps, though. You know what I'm saying? But that's more steps than's really necessary. As soon as you get to the nearest round number, it's easy to add or subtract, and then you just add that whatever part that you took off. They're really adding a couple extra steps that are not really necessary. Like, it should be easy to subtract 40 from 325, and then just add a couple back instead of adding those other steps of adding and adding and adding, and then adding that whole total up. That's fucking weird, dude. And electronics engineering.
Let's read out loud. Don't feel bad. I have a Bachelor of Science degree in electronics engineering, which included extensive study in differential equations and other higher math applications. Even I cannot explain the Common Core mathematics approach, nor get the answer correct. In the real world, simplification is valued over complication. Therefore, 427 minus 316 equals 111. The answer is solved in 5 seconds. 111. The process is used is ridiculous and would result in termination if used. Sincerely frustrated parent.
Oh man, that's fucking awesome. That's pretty good. Yeah, it's just dumbing down bullshit. Like, yeah. Like I said, I kind of get the first part of it. Like,
creating a process that's infinitely more complicated than the original question even is.
Yeah.
You're not even making it easier. You're making it more difficult to find the answer in a stupider, roundabout way that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Like I said, the way I do it, to do it really, because the way I was describing it, I can do that a little bit faster than doing the straight, subtracting it. But yeah, I mean, to do it in my head, I mean, it's easier for me to do it in my head the way I was describing it. But then they take that concept. The first step's okay, but then they add all that other shit, and then you have to add up another total. Like, it doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, but the way you do it, it just doesn't make. Like, I get what you're saying. I get that. But you're making this system so much more complicated. Oh, look at this one. Here's a new Common Core math problem. 2 + 2 = 0. Please show your work and explain your answer.
What the
I would
fuck?
like the paper on fire.
Yeah.
Light it on fire in the middle of class.
That's ridiculous. Please show your work.
I have a much lower tolerance for bullshit now than I did when I was in high school.
Right. There's no way, dude. Wow. Do they actually show it? Do they show how they're supposed to get that answer? That's ridiculous. So they're like, oh, no, there's a 2 and a 2, so just subtract the 2 from 2?
I think they don't just show the answer because there's no fucking way that it makes sense. At no point does that make sense.
That is unbalanced. That would be this. It would see you're saying 4 = 0. Is what that problem is saying. 4 = 0. That is not true, dude. That cannot fucking be.
Oh, Euclidean geometry is easier than Cartesian geometry. Find the length of C of the longest side of a triangle. C is the square root of A plus B squared.
Yeah, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. I remember that shit.
Cartesian geometry. Find the length of C, the longest side of the triangle. C equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. What the fuck are they talking about?
Are they talking about using it on a graph? Is that why they're using that shit? That's weird, dude. That's fucking
none
weird.
of that makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. Like, the A squared plus B squared equals C squared makes perfect sense. You know? Yeah, that's ridiculous, dude.
Well, and then what's the square root of x2 minus x1 squared? It's going to be x2 minus x1, so that doesn't even fucking matter. Like, this is entirely pointless to put in.
Yeah, that's weird. So they're like graphing it.
Or wait, no. If you're taking x2 minus x1 and then you're getting the square root of that, I'm trying to figure out order operations, and then you square the square root of that equation, and then you add it to the result of this equation squared. That is fucking insane.
Yeah, that's weird, man. But yeah, like I said, the way I was describing how I would do that and make it round up to 40 and then just subtract the 2, that's only when I'm doing math in my head. If I'm writing it down, there's no fucking reason to do that.
That
you know what I mean?
Brain. That last one was too far.
Yeah. Well, the 2 + 2 = 0 is just completely and utterly ridiculous to me. Like, I'm kind of angry about it. Like, I'm almost fucking pissed off now, dude.
So now you know where I was at the very beginning of that.
Yeah.
Because I was at the very beginning of that, I was like, but you just teach them how to how to do like the column subtraction.
Yeah, it's dumb.
2 minus 2 is 0, then 3 minus 1 is 2, and then that's 20 is left over from 32 minus 12. It's so simple.
Oh, man. Well, at least I kind of understand what they're doing now by looking at that. Or I think I do. That might just be a coincidence for that problem that worked out that way.
No, I think you're right. They're going bass backwards about it. They're definitely going bass backwards. It's
like how much do you add to get to the nearest 5? How much do you add to get to the nearest 10? And so on from there, I guess. But yeah, that's way too many goddamn steps, dude.
Just fuck your brain.
Right.
The last thing you can do is use it to make things, easily understandable and make any sense.
Yeah, and it's got to be for the dumb kids. It's got to be for that part of the No Child Left Behind. It's like, look, even stupid kids can do it this way. You know what I mean? Since we can't leave anyone behind, like, some kids are just not meant for school, man. Like, they're gonna struggle no matter what. And you're kind of cheating a vast majority of the rest of the fucking classes by accommodating to these dumbasses, dude. I'm sorry, I know they're kids, and it's not really their fault, but still, you're cutting out a lot of other kids by making them do this stupid shit that 90 whatever percent, I'm guessing probably a good 99% of kids can operate math the old way. Maybe I'm exaggerating, maybe I'm optimistic, but I think a very vast percentage know how to do that shit.
I'm pretty sure you're talking like 99.999% of kids can figure out math in the standard.
Yeah, and this Common Core is coming up because we can't leave a single kid behind. So we got to make this so fucking convoluted, somehow simple by being that convoluted, I guess. But it's fucking nuts, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's they had a George Orwell quote that I thought was applicable in there, where like the new think will convince you that war is peace and good is evil and evil is good and peace is war.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me.
What that shit is.
That reminds me. Have you ever read anything by Kurt Vonnegut?
No, I do need to get some Kurt Vonnegut books. That is one of those things on my list of things to buy.
I think I recommended him to you one time because I said something about he raises sarcasm to an art form.
I've wanted to read his work for a while. It's just getting around to like buying a book when I have other things that I like. I need a couple of new shirts. I need to get a desk that works. I need, that kind of shit. Just always.
Well, you can read you can find almost anything online for free to read. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know. It's books are, for some reason, I'm not very good at finding free books.
All right. Well, there's a short story by him. He wrote back in like 1961. It's called, I think it's called Harrison Bergeron. Here, let me put it in the chat. Hold on. But basically, it's a story of, I kind of imagine it's where the leftists kind of want things to end up. It's basically, so yeah, like I said, you can read it in like 5 minutes, dude. But it's basically like, it's supposed to be like a future place where...
well, I don't think it's the leftists at this point. I think it's the corporatists.
Yeah. Yeah, but basically what happens is that it's some kind of weird dystopian future where they make everyone equal different ways. Basically, like if you're really strong, then you have to wear fucking weights. If you're pretty, you have to wear a mask. If you're fucking if you're really smart, they like hit you with a fucking a microwave or a radio headset. So like every 10 or 20 seconds, you hear these fucking loud noises that completely disrupt your concentration. So they're basically trying to make everyone completely equal by doing all this shit, dude. And I just thought it was like, holy shit, this is a great like analogy for fucking modern day bullshit. Yeah. But like you said, it's really short. Just type in again, read Harrison Bergeron online, and you'll pull it up. It's a really short story.
Oh, that's interesting. It sounds similar, like sort of like a modern day version of Dante's Inferno, where it's essentially like it's basically just calling everybody out on their bullshit. Because in each day, Dante's Inferno is basically like, and these people are going to end up going to this hell, and these people are going to end up going to that hell, and essentially it's just calling all this social bullshit out.
Yeah, no, I remember trying to read that, but
a modern day version of it.
I remember trying to read that story, but my knowledge of 15th or 16th century Italy is not strong enough to understand who the fuck he's talking about.
Oh yeah, well, if you want to read an old book that actually is worth reading, fucking Sun Tzu's Art of War or whatever. I forget how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, Sun Tzu.
Or something like that, Sun Tzu. There's a bunch of different ways to pronounce it depending on who you ask. So I assume I'm wrong.
Well, the T is almost never pronounced from what I understand, so that's why I pronounce it as Sun Tzu. It's like General So, or, and it seems like if there's a TS, the T is never pronounced.
Well, no, the thing is sometimes it's like an XIAN, like it's Zhongzhu or something like that. Like, depending on who you ask. That's why I always assume I'm pronouncing it wrong. Or Zhongzhu or something like that.
Yeah, some kind of
the Art of War
version.
is definitely worth reading. That one is fairly easy.
Yeah, I've definitely heard snippets because that is definitely a pretty well-known one. But yeah, I'd like to read that. Yeah, it's interesting, his whole take.
Bruce Lee had some interesting philosophy.
I've got that. The Tao. I've got the book, The Tao of Jeet Kune Do.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I read that.
Yeah, I got that one too. Yeah, not two, but yeah. Or what's good? Are you familiar with Yogananda, Paramahansa Yogananda?
No, I've never read that one.
Okay, yeah, his life is pretty interesting, and I think he came over here. He was from India. He came over here in like I don't know, 30s, 40s, 50s. It was a long time ago, basically. But I think he was the one that kind of started the whole transcendental meditation shit over here.
Oh yeah,
he's actually got a what do they call them, hermitages or whatever. But basically, he's got one. One is in Encinitas in California, and I forget where the other one's at. But his life story is pretty interesting too. His philosophies are really interesting too. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Yeah. Well, I know how to spell Yogananda. That's pretty straightforward. But his first name, his title, his honorific or whatever, was Paramahansa or something along those lines. But yeah, his is an interesting story.
Tradition or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or a Hindu tradition. I think there's like two different, like the Hindu and Buddhist tradition, like there are titles of like what level of ascension you've reached or what level of enlightenment kind of thing. And
yeah. So yeah, whatever his is, he's up there. But apparently, like, he came over from India at some point, and apparently one day just decides that he's going to ascend and just fucking basically left his body, and that was it. But allegedly his body never deteriorated or anything.
Okay, well that one I'm not going to believe the not deteriorating body part. Well,
I don't know if it has at this point, but I mean, you've seen ones where they pull people out of the grave and they haven't really, like, they look waxy, but they're not. They haven't really deteriorated yet.
Well, there's a reason
like that happens.
There's a reason, and it's not mystical though.
Right.
It's the perfect conditions are met that basically mummify the corpse.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, especially in places where there's a lot of like arid desert or grasslands, that can happen a lot.
Right.
Like there's in the they were looking for Shangri-La, and they found these cave dwellings that were basically in this basically sort of like a desert. Windswept area that was sort of like a desert, and these caves were the only real relief from the desert. And the caves had a whole bunch of like really well preserved like corpses and stuff and paintings, and it's because it just happens to be
perfect
the right kind of conditions to mummify stuff and to preserve it. So
just really dry.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's a lot more likely that they just,
they're making shit up. Yeah, that's a problem with stories like that. Is people want to fucking make it into something that's otherworldly when it doesn't. It's not really necessary. Like if you just read his life story, it's pretty interesting.
Well, and the thing is, the philosophy it doesn't need the mystical aspect to be good philosophy.
Right.
And meditation is still beneficial whether or not there's a mystical aspect to it. It's still really good for your mental health, and
it's really good for your well-being in that either way.
Physical health in a lot of ways too, because the less anxious and less stressed out you are because you're meditating and keeping your mind in order.
Keeping centered.
The easier it is to make healthy choices too. It's like.
I noticed. I noticed chicken breast. Whenever I start slacking off on the meditation, I notice that my cravings for like sweets or overeating absolutely start fucking skyrocketing, dude. So that's why I have to kind of make sure that I'm like, all right, why am I doing this? Why am I starting to eat all these sweets? Why am I eating a big fucking heaping teaspoon of Nutella right now, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I stopped medicating a few days ago. That's fucking what's going on.
Yeah.
And then I get, start getting back to it. But it's, again, essential either way, man. For me, it's essential. That's the only way I can manage the fucking bipolar bullshit, dude, is by keeping myself centered.
It just, I don't buy into the mysticism in a lot of this stuff.
Yeah,
it's like prayer in a lot of ways, especially like really intense, prolonged prayer. It can serve pretty much the same purpose as a lot of the meditations for like Christians and stuff. Like it really does serve a very similar purpose to spend like an hour praying.
Right.
It's sort of repeating a mantra and.
I've said the same thing. Like meditation and prayer, not that different. Especially if you're going through a whole fucking rosary and shit, like how Catholics are supposed to.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's very close to a meditation, man. Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't think it's very close to a meditation. I think it is. I think it's just a different form.
Yeah, that's true. You can't say that many Hail Marys and that many Our Fathers without kind of zoning out on it, and kind of fucking, yeah. Yeah, that's probably, honestly, that's probably the reason they do it.
Well, and I bet it's really beneficial. I bet it's really beneficial for a lot of people. It probably makes them feel better. It probably helps them to be more calm and kind of like happy with day-to-day life.
Right.
And whether you believe in the big boogeyman in the sky or not, it doesn't change whether or not that works. Helps people out.
Yeah. It's basically considering yourself either, like I consider it being centered, and they might consider it being closer to God. It's the same fucking thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why a lot of atheists that get super angry and like, no, God is evil, and everybody has to not believe in God. It's like one of those things why I just can't get on board with that.
Yeah. I don't really care.
People out, man. Some people works.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of organized religion or anything either, but if it makes somebody a decent person, people get carried away with it. But actually, Patton Oswalt had a great bit about it. He's talking about how he was like, what if there's a guy that believes there's this huge fucking invisible anus like hanging over his head at all times, and if he's not completely nice and completely courteous to everyone around him at all times, that anus is going to come down and swoop him up and just fucking devour him and fucking shit him back out or whatever. He's like, yeah, that's ridiculous, but if it makes that person the fucking nicest person you ever met, it's not really detrimental.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Whatever reason people are good people, whether it's fear of retribution or not, it doesn't really matter to me. As long as they're acting like good people, I don't care if they actually want to be good people.
I think that's a good point to call it for today.
Oh, yeah, we were only supposed to do an hour. Jesus Christ.
Well, I said an hour or so. I didn't say.
Right.
Just to let everybody know, should I announce that we will be doing... Oh, yeah, I should.
Yeah.
Duh. So tomorrow at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, we're going to do another Chatterbox. Hopefully, we're going to have Based Mama on.
Yes.
She's pretty cool.
Yeah, I got to hang out with her. She's awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And
so stay tuned for that. I have not heard anything that she's not going to be here. So, as of now, it's a go.
Hey, stuff happens, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I've told her that. Yeah, just so you guys know out there, if anybody's actually listened to this point, I've stressed to her, like, I don't want to mess with your schedule. Like, me and Stabby really want to, do this, but I don't want to mess with your schedule, your home life. So if you can't do it, just let me know.
We're not one of the major YouTube channels. We're the little guys with like 2 or 3 people that come in and tune in, which is cool.
Yeah, and I don't think she cares about that anyway. She's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, well, freaking just to point out, there's a potential that Mr. Mitoker might join us on the Sundays cast this week.
Yeah,
maybe not. Fun. It's all in the air. We'll see.
Yeah, I haven't known him for as long as you, but I definitely
I don't know him at all.
That I watched. Well, no, I mean I followed him. I should say.
Yeah.
I followed his channel. So, well, anyways, yeah. Hopefully, it looks good for Base Mama joining us tomorrow at 4.
Might have some cool guests. All right, man. So peace out, everybody out there in the internet land. And this is Skittles McStabby Pants and Day Trois Quas signing off.
Bye-bye.